I went and played through Ojousama Sousamou, which is like Debutante Detective Corp. It's basically like an isometric maze game in some ways. You're this thief who's walking around different buildings trying to get treasure, and there's a bunch of traps on the floor, and you always have this radar on screen, and so you can see traps that are marked in red, but there's also things like infrared lasers that you can't see without using specific items to allow you to see it. But you can kind of figure out where infrared lasers would typically be placed, so you can kind of dodge them. And then also there's like wires and stuff that you can trip, but you can also use like pliers to cut those wires and prevent it from setting off the alarm. And depending on the trap, sometimes it will just hurt you. Other times it will hurt your willpower. The speculation we had on stream was basically the willpower affected how much damage you took. So the less willpower you had, the more certain traps would hurt. And one thing I didn't mention as well is that there's actually detectives roaming around the areas as well. They're invisible. You can't see them, but you can hear them. So every time somebody's close to you, they'll go ahead and say like, "Who's there?" And then your goal is to not not approach them. So it's usually just you like stepping aside by a few steps and then walking around them essentially. I think they might also be moving technically. I don't know for sure. It was kind of hard to tell. You can use various items to kind of try to avoid being caught by them or being hit by them. If they attack you, you'll lose some HP. Sometimes it's greater than other times, sometimes it's less. But that's kind of where a lot of the fun of the game comes in terms of this presentation. You get these little character portraits for the girls. They have various weird things they do to attack you. One of them has like a puppet she has that smacks you with the hammer. One of them dresses up like a nun and she plays like a roulette with you to figure out your fate kind of thing. It's a lot of weird stuff like that. That was pretty fun. It's enjoyable. It requires you to be patient. You can't just rush through it, but it's pretty easy to puzzle out. The biggest problem I think the game has is that I think all the game audio I think is being pulled right off the disc, and so every time they need to load new audio, the game freezes. Every time a girl's audio transfers as you get close to them, the game stops, plays the audio, goes back, starts playing the music again, and then you can move your character. And it's not very long, but it just adds up. There's definitely some pacing issues, I feel like, with the game. But overall, I enjoyed it. If you're going to get a PCFX, I think it's worth checking out.